Ji-won Park opened his eyes slowly as the room lights turned on with a soft glow. The space station's morning cycle was beginning. Through his room's large window, he could see countless stars shining against the dark space. Some were bright, and others were dim, but all of them made him feel peaceful. "Good morning, Ji-won," said a gentle voice. It was Han-Sol, the ship's eye helper. "It is 6:00 a.m. station time. The temperature is perfect for your morning tea." "Thank you, Han-Sol," Ji-won said with a smile. He got out of his bed and walked to the small kitchen area in his room. The kitchen was clean and organized, just the way he liked it. Ji-won took out his favorite blue teacup. It was a gift from his grandmother back on Earth. She had given it to him before he left to work on the ISS Tranquility, the biggest cleaning station in this part of space. The cup had small white clouds painted on it. As he made his tea, Ji-won looked at his daily schedule on the wall screen. Today, 3 alien ships would visit the station for cleaning. This made him happy. He enjoyed helping keep the ships clean and working well, just like his grandmother had taught him to keep his room tidy when he was small. "Han-Sol, please show me the view from the observation deck," Ji-won said as he poured hot water over his tea leaves. The wall screen changed to show the amazing sight from the station's highest point. A large purple and blue nebula spread across the view. Near it, several ships were floating in space, waiting for their turn to dock at the cleaning station. Some were small and round, while others were big and long. They came from many different alien worlds, but they all needed the same thing: good caring and cleaning. The sweet smell of his tea filled the room. Ji-won sat in his comfortable chair by the window. This quiet time in the morning was his favorite part of the day. He watched as a small transport ship moved slowly past his window. Its silver surface caught the light from a distant star, making it shine like a jewel. "Ji-won," Han-Sol said softly, "Chief Engineer Dae-sung has sent a message. He would like to meet you in the meditation garden before your shift starts." "That sounds nice," Ji-won replied. He enjoyed talking with Dae-sung, who had taught him many things about working in space. Dae-sung always said that keeping ships clean was like taking care of a garden. It needed patience, attention, and a gentle touch. As Ji-won finished his tea, he noticed something interesting through his window. A new ship was arriving at the station. It was different from any he had seen before. Its surface changed colors slowly, like the oceans back on Earth. He wondered what stories it would bring. Ji-won stood up and put his cup in the cleaner. He put on his blue work uniform, which had the station's symbol on it, a silver star inside a circle. The uniform was comfortable and had many pockets for his cleaning tools. "Han-Sol, please make sure my tools are ready in Work Bay 3, Ji-won said as he checked his appearance in the mirror. "Already done," Han-Sol replied. "And Ji-won, don't forget your special cleaning cloth, the one you use for delicate surfaces." Ji-won smiled. Han-Sol always remembered the small details. That's what made them a good team. He picked up his cloth, which was made from a special material that was both soft and strong. As he walked to his door, Ji-won took one last look at the stars. Another day of peaceful work was beginning on the ISS Tranquility. He felt lucky to be here, helping keep the ships of the galaxy clean and safe, one careful task at a time. The door opened with a quiet sound, and Ji-won stepped into the hallway. The story of his day was just beginning, and he was ready to write it with care and attention, just like always. The meditation garden was the most beautiful place on the ISS Tranquility. As Ji-won walked through its glass doors, he felt the warmth of artificial sunlight on his face. The air was fresh and clean, filled with the sweet smell of flowers from Earth. Mayray was already there, checking the leaves of a small cherry blossom tree. She wore her usual green uniform with the garden symbol, a silver leaf. Her movements were careful and gentle as she touched each branch. "Good morning, Ji-won," Mayray said without turning around. "The trees told me you were coming." She smiled and pointed to the small bells hanging from the branches. They made soft sounds when someone entered the garden. Jai-Won walked to his favorite spot, a small stone bench near a pool of water. The pool was special. It could stay still even when the station moved. In it, small fish from Earth swam peacefully, their scales shining under the light. "Chief Dae-sung will be here soon," Mayray said. She picked up a watering can made of clear glass. "He wants to show you something interesting about the new ship that arrived." As if called by her words, Dae-sung walked into the garden. He was tall and moved with quiet steps, careful not to disturb the peace of the place. His gray uniform had many badges on it, showing his years of experience. "Ah, Jai-Won. Good morning," Dae-sung said. He sat on the bench next to Jai-Won. "Did you see the new ship? The one that changes colors?" Jai-Won nodded. "Yes, I saw it from my window. I've never seen anything like it." Dae-sung's eyes lit up with excitement. "It's from a species we haven't met before. They call themselves the Gentle Ones. Their ships are alive, not like our machines, but like these plants." He gestured to the garden around them. Mayray joined them, bringing 3 cups of special garden tea. "Living ships?" she asked. "How do we clean something that's alive?" "That's why I wanted to meet here," Dae-sung said. He took a sip of his tea. "The Gentle Ones heard about humans and our ways. They chose our station because they learned about how we take care of things." Jai-Won watched a butterfly land on a nearby flower. It was a robot butterfly, made to help pollinate the plants, but it moved just like a real one. "They want us to take care of their ship like we take care of this garden." "Exactly," Dae-sung smiled. "Other species use strong machines and harsh chemicals to clean their ships. But the Gentle Ones need something different. They need our human touch." Mayray sprayed water on some leaves. The drops caught the light and made tiny rainbows. "Our ancestors knew that the gentlest way is often the best way," she said, "whether you're cleaning a ship or growing a garden." Jai-Won closed his eyes and listened to the peaceful sounds around him. The soft splash of the pool, the quiet bells in the trees, and the gentle hum of the station. This was why he loved his work. Every day brought new chances to share humanity's peaceful ways with the galaxy. "Your first task today will be to meet with the Gentle Ones," Dae-sung said. "Show them how we begin each day here, in peace and mindfulness. Then we'll learn how to care for their living ship." As they finished their tea, a soft chime sounded through the garden. It was time for the day's work to begin. Ji-won stood up slowly, feeling calm and ready. "Remember," Mayray called as they walked to the door, "every living thing responds to kindness, even if that living thing is a spaceship." Ji-won smiled and took one last look at the peaceful garden. Today would be different from his usual cleaning tasks, but he knew that the peace he found here would help him understand the Gentle Ones and their amazing ship. Ji-won stood in the main cleaning bay, looking at the most unusual ship he had ever seen. The ship's surface moved slowly, like waves on a calm sea. Its colors changed from deep blue to soft purple, then to gentle green. It was beautiful. 3 members of the Gentle Ones stood next to their ship. They were tall and slim, with skin that changed colors just like their ship. Their eyes were large and kind, and they moved with smooth, flowing motions. "Welcome to IS Tranquility," Ji-won said with a small bow. He remembered Dae-sung's words about being gentle and respectful. "My name is Ji-won. I will help care for your ship today." The tallest of the Gentle Ones bowed back. "I am Aru," they said in a musical voice. "Our ship is called Morning Dew. She has traveled far and needs rest and care." Ji-won took out his special cleaning cloth. It was made from the softest material humans had created. "May I?" he asked, holding up the cloth. Aru nodded. "Morning Dew says she would like that very much. She can feel that you have kind hands." Carefully, Ji-won touched the ship's surface with his cloth. The surface felt warm and slightly moved under his touch, like touching a flower petal. He noticed that where he cleaned, The ship's colors became brighter and clearer. "Your ship responds to gentle care," Jaiwan said softly. He moved his cloth in slow, careful circles, just like the plants in our meditation garden. The second gentle one, who called themselves Lu, stepped forward. "Most cleaning stations use strong machines. They hurt morning dew. But we heard that humans understand the importance of gentle touch." Jaiwan nodded. He remembered how his grandmother taught him to clean her old teacups. "Sometimes the softest touch can do the most good," he said. He saw that where he had cleaned, the ship's surface was glowing with a happy, warm light. Han Sol's voice came softly through the speakers. "Ji-1, I am detecting unusual energy patterns from the ship. They seem to be happy patterns." The third gentle one, named Sora, made a sound like quiet bells ringing. "Yes, Morning Dew is singing. She has not sung since we left our home world. Your care makes her happy." Jaiwan continued his work, paying attention to every part of the ship he cleaned. He noticed that some areas needed extra gentle care, like they were tired from the long journey. He treated these spots with special attention, just as Mireille treated her most delicate plants. "Would you like to hear some calm music while I work?" Ji-1 asked. "In our culture, we believe that peaceful sounds can help with healing and rest." "Morning Dew would love that," Aru said. Their skin turned a pleased shade of pink. Han Sol began playing soft earth music. It was a gentle mix of nature sounds and quiet instruments. As the music played, the ship's colors started to move in time with the melody, creating beautiful patterns across its surface. "Remarkable." Daesung's voice came from behind them. He had been watching quietly. "The ship is dancing to our music." Jaiwan smiled as he continued his careful work. This was why he loved his job on the cleaning station. Every day brought new ways to share humanity's peaceful approach to caring for things. Even a living ship could understand the kindness in human hands. The morning passed quietly as Jaiwan worked. The gentle ones watched with happy eyes as their ship began to shine with renewed energy. Morning Dew's colors became brighter and clearer with each gentle touch, like a flower opening in the sunlight. As Jaiwan continued cleaning Morning Dew's surface, he noticed something unusual. There was a small area near the ship's energy core that felt different. While most of the ship's surface was warm and responsive, this spot felt cool and still. It reminded him of how plants in Mireille's garden felt when they were unwell. "Excuse me, Aru," Jaiwan said softly. "May I ask Morning Dew about this area?" He gestured to the cool spot with his gentle hands. Aru moved closer, their skin shifting to a concerned shade of blue. "Of course. What do you notice?" Jaiwan placed his hand carefully on the spot. "The surface here feels different. On Earth, when something living feels cool when it should be warm, it often means it needs special care." The ship's colors swirled more slowly around the area Jaiwan touched. Sora stepped forward and placed their long fingers on the ship's surface. "Morning Dew says there is discomfort here. We did not notice because she tried to hide it. She did not want to worry us." Han Sol's voice came through the speakers, calm and thoughtful. "Jaiwan, I am detecting unusual energy readings from that section. They are different from the happy patterns we saw earlier. May I try something?" Jaiwan asked. When the gentle ones nodded, he took out a small cloth bag from his pocket. Inside were dried flowers from Mireille's garden. She had given them to him for good luck. These flowers have healing properties. On our station, we use them to help sick plants recover. Lu's skin sparkled with interest. "Your plants can heal." "Yes," Jaiwan explained as he gently placed the flower petals on the cool spot. "Earth plants have many special properties. Mireille taught me that sometimes the old ways of healing are just as good as new technology." As the flower petals touched Morning Dew's surface, something amazing happened. The ship's colors began to flow more strongly around the cool spot. Slowly, warmth returned to the area. The ship made a sound like a happy sigh. "The energy readings are stabilizing," Han Sol reported. "The ship's core temperature is returning to normal levels." Daesung, who had been watching from nearby, walked over. Ji-1, you found this problem just by paying attention to how the ship felt, not using any scanning tools. Ji-1 nodded. My grandmother always said that your hands can tell you things that machines might miss. She used to check her plants every morning just by touching their leaves. Aru's skin turned a bright, joyful yellow. Most beings in the galaxy rely only on machines. They forget that living things speak in ways that machines cannot always hear. But you humans remember the old wisdom. Morning Dew's colors danced across her surface, now bright and healthy everywhere. The cool spot had completely disappeared, replaced by the same warm, living feeling as the rest of the ship. Thank you, Ji-1, Sora said. Morning Dew says she feels better than she has in many star cycles. The kind touch of your hands and the healing flowers have restored her energy flow. Ji-1 smiled and continued his gentle cleaning work. This was why humans were different from the automated cleaning systems used by other species. Machines could not feel the subtle signs that something was wrong. They could not show care and kindness in their touch. Would Morning Dew like some more calming music while I finish the cleaning? Ji-1 asked. The ship's surface rippled with happy colors in response. As the soft music played and Ji-1 worked, he thought about how every living thing in the galaxy needed the same things: gentleness, attention, and care. Whether it was his grandmother's teacups, Mirai's plants, or a living starship, the power of a kind touch remained the same. Word spread quickly through ISS Tranquility about how Ji-1 had helped Morning Dew. By midday, the cleaning bay was filled with visitors. Engineers from other species came to watch him work. They were curious about the human way of cleaning and caring for ships. Dae-sung gathered everyone in a circle near Morning Dew. The ship's colors danced happily, making beautiful patterns on the walls. Today we learned something important, Dae-sung said. His voice was calm and clear. Ji-1, would you explain what you discovered? Ji-1 looked at all the different beings around him. Some had scales, others had fur, and some looked like walking crystals. But they all wanted to learn. He touched Morning Dew's surface gently. The ship told me something was wrong by how it felt, Ji-1 explained. Just like how a gardener knows their plants need water before they start to droop. Sometimes the simplest ways of noticing things are the best. A crystal engineer stepped forward. Their surface sparkled as they spoke. But our scanners are very advanced. They can detect thousands of problems. Yes, Dae-sung agreed. Machines are wonderful tools. But humans have something special too. We have learned to pay attention to small details, to trust what we feel with our hands and see with our eyes. Aru moved their long fingers across Morning Dew's surface. When we built our first living ships, our ancestors used only their hands and hearts to care for them. Over time, we forgot these old ways, but humans still remember. Ji-1 took out his grandmother's blue teacup from his work bag. He had brought it to show everyone. My grandmother taught me to clean this cup every day. She said that objects that are cared for with love last longer. The same is true for living ships. The crystal engineer leaned closer to look at the cup. It is very old, but it looks new. How is this possible? Because Ji-1 cares for it properly, Dae-sung explained. This is why many species now send their ships to human cleaning stations. We combine new technology with old wisdom. Mirai had come from the garden to join them. She held up some of her healing flowers. Earth plants and Morning Dew are not so different. They both respond to gentle care. When we work with living things, we must first listen to what they tell us. The visitors watched as Ji-1 demonstrated his cleaning technique on different parts of the ship. He showed them how to feel for changes in temperature, how to notice subtle shifts in color, and how to move their hands with care and respect. Each ship is different, Ji-1 said as he worked. Just like each plant in the garden is different, we must pay attention to these differences. Dae-sung smiled proudly. This is why humans are good at maintenance work. We understand that cleaning is not just about making something look nice. It is about caring for it properly. The crystal engineer tried touching Morning Dew's surface with their sparkling hands. The ship's colors swirled happily at their gentle touch. "I think I understand now," they said. "It is not just about what we do, but how we do it." "Exactly," Dae-sung said. "Every task, no matter how small, deserves our full attention and care. This is what humans can teach the galaxy." As the lesson continued, Jae-won felt happy. He was helping others understand something important, that the gentlest way was often the best way, just as his grandmother had taught him, and just as he was now teaching others. After the morning's excitement, Jae-won went to the meditation garden for his lunch break. Mayre was there, working with some new plants that had arrived from distant planets. The garden looked different now, with strange and beautiful flowers mixing with earth plants. "Come see what I'm doing," Mayre called to him. She stood near a table covered with shimmering leaves. These leaves changed color like Morning Dew's surface. The gentle ones gave us some plants from their world. Jae-won walked over carefully. The alien plants gave off a soft, pleasant light. "They're beautiful," he said. "They remind me of their ship." Mayre nodded. "That's because their ships are grown from similar plants. The gentle ones told me their ancestors learned to grow ships from these special flowers." She touched one of the leaves gently. It glowed brighter at her touch. "How do we care for them?" Jae-won asked. He set his lunchbox on a nearby bench. Learning about new plants seemed more interesting than eating right now. Mayre smiled. "That's why I asked you to come. These plants need the same kind of care that Morning Dew needs. I thought we could work together. You can show me how you clean the ship, and I can show you how I care for delicate plants." Jae-won took out his special cleaning cloth. "The ship liked this cloth. Maybe the plants will too." They worked together quietly. Mayre showed Jae-won how to test the soil with his fingers, just as he had tested Morning Dew's surface with his hands. Jae-won showed Mayre how to move the cloth in gentle circles, the way he had cleaned the ship. "Look," Mayre said after a while. The plants were glowing brighter, their colors changing to happy shades of blue and green. "They respond to human touch just like Morning Dew did." Hansol's voice came softly through the garden speakers. "The plants are producing similar energy patterns to those we saw in the ship. They appear to be thriving under your care." As they worked, 3 young maintenance workers from different alien species came into the garden. They had been at Dae-sung's teaching session earlier. Now they watched as Jae-won and Mayre cared for the plants. "Would you like to try?" Mayre asked them. She handed each one a soft cloth. "Remember what Jae-won taught you about gentle touches." The workers moved carefully, copying Jae-won's movements. The plants responded to them too, glowing and changing colors. One of the workers, who had feathers instead of hands, used their softest feathers to clean the leaves. "Humans have taught us something valuable today," the feathered worker said. "On our world, we use machines for everything. We forgot how important a gentle touch can be." Jae-won watched as the alien workers learned to care for the plants. He thought about how Morning Dew had helped him understand these new plants. Everything in the universe was connected, if you paid attention and treated it with care. "This is why the gentle ones trust us with their ships," Mayre said. She watered the plants with special filtered water. "We remember the old ways of caring for living things. We can teach others these ways too." The garden was peaceful as they worked. Earth plants and alien plants grew together, creating new patterns of light and color. Jae-won realized that his job of cleaning ships and Mayre's work with plants were not so different. Both needed patience, attention, and most importantly, a gentle touch. The afternoon on ISS Tranquility brought new ships to clean. Jae-won worked steadily in Bay 4, where 3 small trading vessels waited for his care. News about his work with Morning Dew had spread through the station, and now other ships requested him specifically. "Your cleaning technique is different from what we usually see," said Captain Teal, a tall being covered in soft scales. She watched as Jae-won cleaned her ship's energy collectors. "Most stations use automatic cleaners, but they never get the results you achieve. Jaiwan moved his cleaning cloth in slow, careful circles. Automatic cleaners work quickly, but they miss the small details. Sometimes slower is better. He pointed to a spot where the metal gleamed particularly bright. See how the surface responds to gentle care. Hansol's voice came through quietly. Energy efficiency in the clean sections has improved by 15%. This exceeds standard cleaning results by a significant margin. Other maintenance workers began to gather around Ji-won's bay. Some took notes, while others recorded his movements. They were learning that human methods, though seemingly simple, produced exceptional results. I've worked on stations across 3 galaxies, a mechanical engineer said, their metal parts clicking softly as they spoke. But I've never seen cleaning work that improves engine performance like this. Jaiwan continued his work, explaining as he went. Every ship collects more than just space dust, he said. It collects the stress of long journeys, the strain of different atmospheres. We must clean with understanding. Daesung arrived with a group of station managers from other cleaning facilities. They had come to observe human cleaning methods. Ji-won's work shows us something important, he told them. High technology is valuable, but it must be balanced with human touch. As Jaiwan moved to the next ship, he remembered Morning Dew. Even though this ship wasn't alive like she was, it still needed careful attention. He checked each panel and connection with the same gentle focus he had used on the living ship. Your concentration never wavers, noticed a young worker from a crystalline species. How do you maintain such careful attention for so long? Jaiwan smiled as he cleaned a particularly dirty sensor array. My grandmother taught me that every task deserves full attention. When you focus peacefully on your work, time passes naturally. The afternoon continued quietly. Ji-won completed each cleaning with careful attention. Ships that arrived looking dull and tired left his bay gleaming and running smoothly. The station's efficiency reports showed that his methods, though slower than automatic systems, produced better and longer-lasting results. We have been thinking about cleaning the wrong way, Captain Teal said as she prepared to leave. We thought faster was better. But you humans show us that peace and patience bring the best results. As the day cycle moved toward evening, Jaiwan's careful work had created a calm atmosphere in the cleaning bay. Even the usual noise of the station seemed quieter, more peaceful. Other workers began to adopt his gentle approach, and the whole station ran more smoothly. Hansol's monitors showed something interesting. The entire station's energy use had decreased. When workers are calm and focused, the eye observed, everything works better. The human way spreads peace through the whole station. As the station's day cycle drew to a close, Jaiwan returned to his quarters. The stars outside his window looked particularly bright tonight. He could see Morning Dew in the distance, her surface glowing with healthy colors as she prepared for her journey home. Hansol's gentle voice filled the room. Ji-won, today's results have been remarkable. Would you like to see the data? Yes, please, Jaiwan said as he made his evening tea in his grandmother's blue cup. The wall screen lit up with colorful charts and numbers. Your cleaning methods have improved ship efficiency by an average of 20%, Hansol explained. More importantly, the ships you cleaned last month have maintained their improved performance longer than those cleaned by automatic systems. Jaiwan sat in his comfortable chair, holding his warm teacup. The gentle ones helped us learn something important today, he said. Sometimes the old ways of doing things have wisdom we shouldn't forget. A message appeared on his screen. It was from Mireille in the garden. The alien plants they had worked with were growing beautifully. She had taken a picture of them glowing in the artificial evening light, their colors changing just like morning dews. Station manager's report, Hansol announced. After observing today's results, 12 more stations across the galaxy have requested to learn human cleaning methods. They want to understand our way of combining technology with gentle care. Jaiwan smiled. He remembered how his grandmother used to say that a peaceful heart makes for better work. Now beings across the galaxy were learning this simple truth. A soft chime sounded, Dae-sung appeared on the screen. "Good evening, Jae-won. The Gentle Ones wanted me to share something with you before they leave. Their ship has recorded its highest energy efficiency levels since it was grown. They say it's singing songs about gentle human hands." "That makes me happy," Jae-won said. He looked at the cleaning cloth on his desk, thinking about how such a simple tool could make such a big difference. More messages arrived from around the station. The crystalline engineers had started teaching their own workers about careful, mindful cleaning. The mechanical beings had adjusted their automatic systems to move more slowly and gently. Even the station's robots were being reprogrammed to work with more care. "The station feels different now," Hansol observed. "Energy patterns show increased harmony throughout all systems. Your influence has created positive changes beyond just the cleaning bays." Jae-won finished his tea and walked to the window. He could see ships of all sizes and shapes docked at the station. Each one would leave cleaner, better cared for, and carrying the story of how humans remember the importance of gentle, mindful work. "Grandmother would be proud," he said quietly, touching the blue teacup. "She always said that the way we care for small things shows how we care for everything." As the station's night cycle began, soft lights dimmed throughout his quarters. Tomorrow would bring new ships to clean, new beings to teach, and new chances to share humanity's peaceful way of working. But for now, Jae-won was content knowing that across the galaxy, beings were learning that sometimes the gentlest touch could make the biggest difference. Hansol dimmed the lights further. "Good night, Jae-won. Thank you for teaching us all something important today." Jae-won placed his grandmother's cup carefully in its special place. The stars twinkled outside his window, and somewhere out there, Morning Dew was singing songs about gentle human hands and peaceful hearts.